Before I begin, quick check. Is my bow tie okay? Can I get smiles or thumb up? Thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, wonderful. It is so beautiful to see all the smiles and the thumbs up all across the audience. Many times we look out the window for confirmation, but I've seen something powerful that can happen when you're able to hold up a mirror daily with intention to invoke self-validation, fulfillment, and joy while feeling good doing it. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Bowtie Todd, and today I want to talk to you about the power of bow ties that lead to bold breakthroughs. People remember what you wear. They remember how you present your ideas. They remember how they make you feel. Rarely do you remember the fancy titles or degrees. What is incredible and what is powerful is the story that you tell, paired with your actions and behaviors on and off the clock. See, my bow tie is not a costume. It is a reminder of my personal mission statement, which is to wake up every day to create spaces for all humans to belong and thrive together, one bow tie conversation at a time. Now, I have my collection of bow ties. Matter of fact, I have enough bow ties to wear a different one every day of a year, at least. So within my collection, I have been able to see some consistencies. A bow tie embodies restraint and tension at the same time. It's polished, yet playful, loose enough to breathe, tight enough to stay in place, and does not get in the way when I'm eating my favorite chicken wings. My secret sauce is deeper and beyond the fabric. It is how I show up to life, how I show up to engagements, how I show up to conversations, the bow tie philosophy. What I was been able to do is create a simple acronym of how I allow this to be a compass to guide my everyday life and decision. And friends, is it okay? Can I share it with you? Okay, well, here we go. What is the first letter of bow tie? B. In any conversation, be mentally present. How many of you all know you can be physically in a room, virtually connected, and still be mentally absent? The next letter of bow tie is the letter O. Open to new ideas. Now, you must have an open heart and an open mind to be able to see and feel what the universe would like to share with you. Then we go to W, willing to engage and share your own perspective while owning your truth. Now, this takes a level of vulnerability and reflection, but yes, I believe you, everyone that's listening, have a story to share, and it's up to you to do it. Now, I've been able to witness many different conversations. And yes, there are some challenges, just like me trying to find the balance to get this knot in the middle. And now, these conversations where I've witnessed and observed challenges have been mostly about divisive topics or opposing views and beliefs. But I have seen something powerful happen when the conversation is able to lean into a balance of respect and empathy, and most importantly, leave the conversation better than you came, for something good, something larger than yourself. And my friends, today, I do believe when these ingredients come together, we can create a T together. We can build and aim an I, inclusive, remaining E environment. This is bow tie. Now, let me unpack that for you all, because I did go through that pretty fast, but I would like to take you on this journey of how bow tie applied to me. Be mentally present. As a child in the inner city of Columbia, South Carolina, I was not always aware of the biases and the stereotypes that exist of me as a black man or black boy growing up in America. When I was able to go to a new school district, I quickly realized and learned that the color of my skin and my zip code yielded several statistics, such as I may not achieve my dreams, and if I did go after them, I should try to aim low. Guess what? I beat those odds. As a first-generation college student, I went off to study experimental psychology to explore the behaviors and attitudes that went into creating these systems of inequity. I wanted to take that deeper, and so I went off and I explored these fundamentals and constructs in graduate school. And while I was in graduate school, I had a unique opportunity to have a practicum experience at Morehouse College. Now, if you never heard of Morehouse College, this is one of the academic institutions, a top-tier academic institution that was historically created for black men. During this time of research at this institution, I was able to do really cool things and really help increase student engagement in and outside of the classroom. While I was there, the former president, President Dr. Robert Franklin, he introduced this model called wellness. It was really about having the students be Renaissance men that will continue to have a social conscious framework with a global mindset. Well, here's the wells. Well-balanced, well-mannered, well-spoken, well-traveled, and well-read. Wow, I think this was incredible to be well-received. I was able to adopt this model and birth a new identity. Yes, see, I have not always wore bow ties. Leaving that experience, the bow tie identity was formed. It was really a sense of confidence, a sense of empowerment and belonging, and a sense of purpose with an identity-conscious mindset to be the change that I wish to see. Open to new ideas and willing to engage. I get the privilege in my professional lifestyle, on and off the clock actually, to be able to take my bow ties, my research and practice, and travel all across the country and all across the world. I've been able to go to Mexico, Taiwan, Brazil. Wow, my friends, as I reflect, the bow tie was starting to take form. Bow tie conversations. I've seen some very, very interesting moments where I would be on the plane or at the local grocery market or on the beach, and it would go something like this. Somebody would see my bow tie, and the first thing I see and notice is a smile. And do you know what? We smile in the same language all around the world. This was an incredible feeling. But this allowed for me to go deeper in my experiences and allow for this conversation to really expand my horizons. I recall an experience when I, for the first time, stepped out and learned about a different faith practice, Sikhism. During this experience, showing up in a sea of 300,000 people at this festival, I was a little nervous. And I went through several questions, such as, should I even ask questions? Is this the time, place, or manner? Should I even wear a bow tie? Is that culturally appropriate? And to my surprise, the questions led to the embrace of discomfort by both sides. I quickly found out that I probably was one of maybe the small amount of people who had a bow tie on and a turban. I would also share that when we were able to connect, we were able to break down stereotypes. We were able to share meaning of love, and most importantly, share humanity. The opportunity, tie. We're living in a moment today of a lot of uncertainties, economic challenges, the future of AI, or simply just woke up having a bad day. Now, we would like and we try to achieve to leave this place, planet Earth, we call home, better than we found it. And when we think about how we can do that, I simply think about my small children. I have a 4-year-old son, Mateo, and I have a daughter who's 1 year old. And as I reflect on this experience, we just recently came back from international travel as a family. Now, whether we were in the city plaza, in a restaurant, or the beach, I noticed something with my son, Mateo. He will quite often, unexpectedly, open his arms to strangers, willing to give and receive a hug. Now, as a father, the first thought, protection, safety, stop it. And as someone who studies psychology, I understand that you can never control your first thought, but you can manage your second thought and first reaction. So I take a step back and I observe, and I really see the world light up before my eyes. I recall the young man, the gentleman who was on the beach who potentially appeared to be unhoused, maybe not have taken a bath. My son gave him a hug. He smiled with tears in his eyes, gave him a fist pump, and said, "Thank you, my little friend." This reminded me of the moment that we're in, human connection. So as we think about what can we do to be better than the day before, I want you to be left with this thought. What if the world started treating each other how people treat my bow ties? Starting with a simple smile, starting with curiosity, leaning in with compassion, empathy, positive intent, assumption, giving grace and space, but most importantly, willing to connect. If we're able to think about these ingredients and how they blend so well together, the power of bow ties, it will lead to a bold breakthrough. So I want to challenge you. Of course, yes, it's a challenge as you lead from the sound of my voice. Be mentally present in all that you can do. Open your heart and your mind, willing to engage and share your truth and your story, because you can be a gift to the world as we are all becoming. This is more than an art. This is a practice. But let me be very clear. This is not about the bow ties around your neck, the bows in your hair, or the knot in your shoes. It's about the bow tie in your heart that comes to practice. And my friends, if we commit today together, we will and shall build an I, inclusive, E, environment, bow tie. Thank you.